They don't want you to see these documents, 0.90000 pages of secrets involving billionaires, politicians, and royalty. Document stamps, court footage. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers are in court right now, trying to stop their release. But what are they really hiding? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the biggest scandals that continues to shake the world. You probably heard the names Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, but there's a major new development that's causing shockwaves. We're talking about 90,000 pages of secret documents that the government wants to release to the public, and Maxwell's lawyers are fighting back hard, claiming it's unconstitutional. So what's really going on here? What's hidden in these documents? And why are powerful people so desperate to keep these secrets buried? Let's break it all down. Jeffrey Epstein was a billionaire financier who, on the surface, looked like just another successful businessman. But the reality was far darker. For decades, he ran a sophisticated network that sexually abused young girls and women. By his side was Ghislaine Maxwell, a British socialite who moved in elite circles and was Epstein's closest associate and alleged accomplice. Epstein's connections were incredibly high profile. We're talking politicians, business moguls, celebrities, and even royalty. Prince Andrew's name came up when Virginia Giuffre alleged that she was trafficked to him for sex when she was just 17 years old. In 2019, when Epstein was arrested on sex trafficking charges, he allegedly committed suicide in his jail cell. Or at least that's the official story. Many people still believe it was murder because Epstein had explosive secrets about extremely powerful people. After his death, the focus shifted to Ghislaine Maxwell. In December 2021, she was convicted on sex trafficking charges and sentenced to 20 years in prison. She's currently imprisoned at a federal prison camp in Texas. Now here's the new twist. The U.S. Justice Department has asked a federal court to release 90,000 pages of documents to the public. Where did these documents come from? They're from a civil defamation lawsuit that Virginia Giuffre filed against Ghislaine Maxwell about a decade ago. That lawsuit was eventually settled, but during the discovery process, tons of depositions and documents were collected that have remained confidential and sealed until now. So what's in these documents? We're talking about transcripts of over 30 depositions where Maxwell and others answered questions under oath, financial records showing money flows, transactions, and network connections, and private information about sexual matters relating to Maxwell and others involved. In December, Congress passed a law called the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The purpose of this law was to force the release of millions of Epstein-related documents to ensure transparency and deliver justice for victims. But Ghislaine Maxwell's legal team is calling this transparency effort unconstitutional. They filed papers late Friday in Manhattan federal court arguing that this law violates the Constitution's separation of powers doctrine. Here's their argument. They're saying Congress cannot, by statute, strip this court of the power or relieve it of the responsibility to protect its files from misuse. To do so violates the separation of powers. In other words, they're arguing that the judiciary has its own independent powers. Congress and the executive branch can't interfere with how courts handle their cases. Courts have the power to protect their files from misuse, and Congress can't just pass a law that strips away that power. This is a huge legal battle because it's not just about Maxwell's case, it's about setting precedents for the future. If Congress gets this power to forcefully release sealed court documents, what happens to confidentiality, agreements, and judicial privacy going forward? The Justice Department maintains that these documents weren't obtained improperly. Their argument is that transparency is essential for delivering justice to victims. In recent weeks, Epstein-related documents from criminal probes have started being released. These document releases have revealed new information, including details about Epstein's decades-long sexual abuse network, connections between Epstein and numerous powerful and famous individuals, and the scale and scope of victim experiences. But there's a major problem. Victims' personal information and names have been made public while their abusers' names are blacked out. This has been extremely painful and traumatic for victims. They've complained that in the name of transparency, their privacy is being violated. Members of Congress are also complaining that only about half of the existing documents have been released, and many of those are heavily redacted. Justice Department officials say everything has been released, except for certain files that still need a judge's approval. Virginia Giuffre was a central figure in this entire scandal. She openly alleged that Epstein trafficked her to Prince Andrew and other powerful men when she was just 17 years old. In 2021, she filed a lawsuit against Prince Andrew. He denied the allegations, but settled the lawsuit in 2022, which many viewed as basically an admission of guilt. Interestingly, Prince Andrew was recently arrested, though not directly related to the Epstein scandal. This was for a separate case involving allegations that he shared confidential trade information with Epstein. Tragically, Virginia Giuffre took her own life. Last year, before her death, she published a memoir where she wrote that prosecutors deliberately didn't include her in Maxwell's trial because they were afraid her allegations would distract the jury. This is deeply disturbing because it means the system itself decided which victims were suitable for trial and which weren't. It's a huge betrayal of victims seeking justice. Ghislaine Maxwell is currently 64 years old and imprisoned at a low-security prison camp in Texas. She was transferred from a federal prison in Florida last summer. Interestingly, she participated in 2 days of interviews with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, but what was discussed in those interviews hasn't been made public. 2 weeks ago, House Oversight Committee lawmakers tried to depose her via video call, but Maxwell refused to answer their questions. However, through her lawyer, she indicated that she's prepared to speak fully and honestly if she's granted clemency. This is an interesting bargaining position. Maxwell clearly has information that's valuable, and she wants to use that information as leverage to get her sentence reduced. This legal battle is just beginning. The court will have to decide whether Congress's Epstein Files Transparency Act is constitutional or not. If the court rules in Congress's favor, those 90,000 pages will become public, and we might finally see the names and connections of many powerful individuals exposed. But if Maxwell's lawyers win, those documents will remain sealed, and many questions will remain unanswered forever. Victims want transparency and justice. The general public wants the truth. But powerful elites want these secrets to stay buried. Guys, this isn't just a scandal. This was a systematic network where powerful people enjoyed impunity for decades. Victims' voices were suppressed, and justice was delayed again and again. Now that these documents might finally be released, the question is, can we handle the truth? Will powerful people actually be held accountable? Or will this be another cover-up like so many others we've seen? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want us to keep covering important stories like this, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.